So go up to Tennessee. They have like quarter comics.
We have quarter bins and methamphetamines. You do some meth, you can look for comics for a long time.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
For more than a century, comic books, television, and movies have existed. Each separate, broken, with their gatekeepers.
No!
Then, something happened that brought all media together. The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic community. Put your hands together, comic fan. Comics are for everyone. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, live Comic Book Wednesday, a weekly YouTube show about comic books with Lady Fantastic. Comics on the Mind.
Get your hands up!
Miracle Man. Special guest appearances by Ace. And your host, Not Near Mint. Welcome to Not Near Mint.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Near Mint. It is Wednesday, April the 7th, 2021. It is 10 p.m. on a new Comic Book Wednesday. We have some special creators in the house tonight. We have Will Perkins and Mr. Eric Grissom.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, especially on such short notice. So you have a new book out. It's called
We do.
Goblin. And would one of you gentlemen like to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Yeah, we have a new graphic novel, fantasy adventure graphic novel. It'll be out in June, but pre-orders are open now. It's the story of a young goblin, and thanks to sort of a massive hulking human warrior monster, finds himself completely alone and abandoned to a world that hates him. He's got nothing going on, and sort of fueled by this desire for vengeance, he embarks on a wild, fantastical journey in search of a way to destroy this guy. And there's fairies in it.
Just noticed I was muted. I read the first couple chapters because I'm kind of known.
Yeah, I was a little
books.
nervous because I was gonna say I was a little nervous. I went through
That's
the thing
it?
and then it was just quiet, and then I was like, and this is how it ends. And then I get thrown in the van, and it's like that's it.
No. I wound up reading the first couple chapters, and this looks like a great coming of age storyline. Really, when you guys thought up this idea for the book, what brought you together in order to come up with this storyline?
Well, Will and I had worked together before. Well, actually, a couple of times. I did a all ages kind of space sci-fi adventure book called Planet Gigantic with David Halverson, and that book I wanted to have sort of like a narrative that kept going, and then these standalone backup issues. And Will and I worked on one of those, and Will's amazing. So I just had a really good time working with him, and the two of us ended up doing a book with Dark Horse, which was way different than Goblin. Goblin's sort of this middle grade fantasy adventure, sort of like a road movie. And the other book Will and I did was called Gregory Suicide. So it's also hard to put those two together. But the two of us just did that. When was that? Well, like 3 years ago. We did that with Dark Horse.
2017.
Yeah. And then we just like working together. And this was just some idea that I had that I was thinking about. Maybe I was going to turn it into a book, or I didn't even really know what I was going to do it. And I think I ran it by you, Will, and you were pretty into the idea that.
I said, give me at least 8 pages. Give me a shot at it. Because you seemed pretty dead set on the whole novel thing. And I was like, well, this is just everything I've wanted to work on since we did Gregory Suicide. Gregory Suicide was like, it's this like near future Black Mirror episode, and fun, great, really stretched me creatively. But like this story he told me was like everything from the 80s I loved, every Jim Henson story I loved. So it was like, well, you got to give me a shot at this. And
yeah, Will and I. Go on.
Like five emails back and forth before it's like, come on, please, come on.
Right. Will and I both have like similar tastes when it comes to sort of like that type of fantasy. Like we're both big Dark Crystal fans and Never Ending Story and things like that. So once I was sort of telling him about that, and he sort of liked it. It seemed like a really good fit. And Will's like the perfect artist for this.
So you said a couple there. Labyrinth, the film of Labyrinth, I assume is included in that, right? With David Bowie.
Yeah, Labyrinth. Okay. Yep. For me too, that film. I don't know if you've seen it, Legend, the Ridley Scott movie. That movie was a huge influence, especially with the Goblin. And the original idea that I had for this was actually much darker. And if you look at some of the early stuff that Will and I did, even as far as like when we first started putting together the pitch, it was a much darker. And like when I did the sort of what the book's about, it has like a revenge bent to it. And it was much more that, but as I started writing it and putting it together, it just became something else entirely. And I think we sort of toned that down a little bit, sort of the level of violence.
Yeah, I came across the original pitch actually just a few days ago, and it's just
arrows
see
and
the glimmer of what we wanted there, and you were getting distracted by the mature angle, and we kind of shaved off all those edges, and thanks to some really good editorial guidance, honestly, we came into something that we really loved.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny, like when you sort of start something and you think it's going to be something, and then the more you work on it, the more you start to write it. It just really, it sounds corny, but it tells you what it wants to be. I know that sounds silly to say, but it seems to be true. It's just sort of how it works out.
Yeah, you could definitely see those influences in it as I went through the book. It reminded me of some of the things I like the most of those types of films. You got that feel from it. Very, very enjoyable.
A kind of weird like influence too on it was this David Lynch film, The Straight Story, which is not really like anything else he's made. Like that, the idea of like that sort of road movie, and even like when I was originally putting like the outline together for certain moments, I was actually using that film, which doesn't make it, the book is nothing like that movie. But for whatever reason, I kept sort of going back to that. And I love that. I love those ideas of those kind of stories that are these sort of epic sort of road movies where the character goes a great distance and learns a little bit about themselves along the way and everything else. So it's kind of an odd thing, but that movie was actually an influence as well.
It's like the smallest thing that sticks with you, and it branches off into a totally different genre, but it all comes from that same inspiration.
And what I took away from that movie was, one, it was rated G, and it was a David Lynch movie.
I know, right?
About an old man on a lawnmower trying to get to, I can't remember if it was.
Yeah, he's going to see. Yeah, he's estranged from his brother, and his brother's dying of cancer, and the two haven't talked in years. And he's an older guy. He doesn't have a driver's license because he's at the point where he can barely walk. He's on a cane. And so he takes a lawnmower. It's a true story. This is a thing that really happened. And he went like more than a state, I think, across on his lawnmower, like on highways with people driving, like semis driving by. It's really like a fascinating story, but that's the whole thing from start to finish, trying to get to his brother. It's really good. But yeah, it's a G for David Lynch movie.
Movies.
Basically the exact same.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm already adding movies to my list to watch. That's definitely going to
Yes, a very heart-stirring movie. Although, I myself have once traveled to Mexico on a riding lawnmower, so really not that big of a deal.
No way.
It's not really. Yeah, twice I think actually. So,
were you like sober?
Most of it. So, collaborating with each other again on a project. Obviously, every creator finds somebody that they work with well, and you see a lot of the same creators working together multiple times. And if you did a kind of a sci-fi story with the first one, you kind of did a fantasy story with this one. What's the third one going to be? Is there going to be an option for a third book out there someday with maybe that's like something different, a new genre that you'd work on together? Or if you could pick one to do together, would there be another one that you'd want to do?
Yes. But as far as like what genre, I usually just find like the story, whether it's, so I end up doing a lot of different genres. Like I know we talk like we're both horror fans and we would love to do a horror book, and I think I would definitely say that would be even like an old school Dracula novel, or actually I would love to do like a mummy noir set in the 40s. But as far as like knowing like what it's going to be, I'll usually just find something and then that becomes the story, and then I'll be like, Will, look at this thing. Like I said, Will, like some stupid really dumb comedy thing the other day about like an actor, an out of work actor that ends up on Cannibal Island. So Will doesn't know what he's going to get from me at any given moment, but we will work together again. It's a guarantee.
Yeah, once you find somebody you can actually work with, you get your hooks into them and you don't let go.
I would love to revisit. Yeah, I think we talked too. Like this world of Goblin is very big. So I also would love to sort of maybe revisit that as well.
Yeah. This is probably the first thing we've worked on together where as soon as I was finished, the same kind of thing of just like, well, what else? And then like, come on, give me more. I want more story here.
Yeah, so you were kind enough to send us the book to review. I haven't made it to the end yet, so I'm glad to hear that there might be an option for more in this world. That sounds great.
Not to spoil it, but he finds a lawnmower.
Ah, well, there you go. Let me guess. He goes to visit his brother, huh?
He does. In Mexico. It's a twist.
There you are.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, original.
One thing that I picked up most on when I started reading this was at the very beginning, when we're starting to hear about they look ugly. It was the first line basically from the book. And when you're seeing this, you're seeing a beautiful creature, but they're talking about us being monsters. That's how they're viewing themselves. But really, when you're starting to look at them, or at least how I started from the first couple chapters, they seem like the most normal, kind, pure-hearted type, only to be just corrupted by man. And perhaps the monsters are us.
And that's a kind of that Henson feel that we were going for. Like I probably thousands of sketches of Rikt and his dad and trying to get that goblin feel from Legend with the gnarled skin and the pointed ears. And every time I kept kind of like slowly coming back to this like really gentle looking face, not ugly, but like, I don't know, it's just a little bit more approachable. Like you said, almost like a puppet, but yeah,
just that house elf, but not from a
exactly
person.
Charming but ugly.
Yeah, I think those original things that we were going for were really supposed to be just hideous and just dirty monsters. But like, Will just always finds the heart in the character, and then once you connect with that, like you just fall in love with it.
And I don't know if I was going to step on you before, Miracle Man, so go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was actually trying to bring something up here, but go ahead.
Well, that was the next thing. I don't know if you wind up having any art that's on hand that we could share a screen so we could show some of the fine folks at home.
Now, that's something I could possibly do here. I did warn you guys that we're a high-class operation here, so bear with me because I'm still loading it up on my PC.
It's one of those warning, no one really knows what they're doing. Just keep doing it. Eventually you get better.
Right. Well, that's what you think. Like,
right?
I do a podcast with my friend Dan and review old Doctor Who episodes, and we've been doing it now for 6 years. And every time we do it, we have no idea what's going on. With the mic's not plugged in, or he's got to call me 2 times. And it's like, when am I ever going to figure out how to use this stuff?
Yeah.
To be fair, the first year of doing this show, I called Miracle Man at least like once or twice or 23 times by his actual name. So I've tried trimming those out over the years, but it becomes much easier not to trim out just by remembering things. But
Right.
I don't remember shit anymore.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
So we're not going to give you too much, everybody, because we don't want to have any spoilers or anything. But
You gotta read it yourself.
as I said to Eric and Will, just look at this cover. I mean, it's gorgeous.
I was sold on the cover.
That by itself, I always like books with these little creatures in it. Ogres, I read recently. I think that was from Source Point.
Oh yeah, I'm reading it too. That's a great one.
That was great. I loved Orc Stain from James Stokey. So anything with like a little weird creature like this, I'll absolutely give it a shot.
Awesome.
And unfortunately, I missed it on the solicit. So luckily, my shop did order it. So it is coming in. So I'll be getting that when it comes out. What was the? Go ahead.
I was just saying, just Will's cover is so nice. Like I love how that came out.
It's the hardest thing we did in the whole book.
Yeah, we had a lot of different variations, and so we got it. But it works.
Just by looking at the cover alone, I would almost be almost mistaken to think that it could be Studio Ghibli. But perhaps maybe I'm overthinking things that maybe I'm.
I'll take it.
Animated.
I hope. Hey, if they will, that would be a dream come true. They can animate that.
You said it.
You heard it here first. That's legally binding. Right?
If honestly,
the cover quote, right?
3 years ago, could have wound up saying, you know what? Now that the studio that owns the rights to Godzilla, King Kong, and Pacific Rim, it would be nice if they mashed them all together. 3 years later, it happened, and it's called Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Right.
You heard it here first. We're hoping for an animated series.
Oh, I love it.
Right. It's on Netflix.
it's like that book. It's like that book, The Secret. You wish for it and you vision it, and it happens. It comes along and you get it. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So, as I said, didn't want to give away too much here, but I thought I'd show you guys just the first couple of. This is pre-story, so just to give you guys an idea of what the art's looking like. And when I say you guys, obviously, Eric, and you guys have seen it already. I mean, folks.
What is this?
Right.
Who made my name doing on this?
But everything about it I like. Here's just this opening page. You just get that look right there, and that to me was what gave me that bottom panel. There is what gave me that look. That reminded me specifically of Legend. And when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, I was right. They did like that movie. I thought I was the one person who remembered it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I would say about 60% of that book is just fueled by Tangerine Dream, mainline to me from
No,
Eric.
I bought Will the soundtrack. I'm like, just listen to this.
He bought me the movie. He sent me the soundtrack. I was like, yeah, I've seen it. And he's like, no, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it again. I'm like, no, I'll do it. I promise.
I did like a lot of
soundtrack
writing.
is Goblin's soundtrack.
Yeah, a lot of this came from listening to that soundtrack and the actual other soundtrack that came out in England. Walking around in the woods and just listening to that and trying to sort of plot the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's beautiful. I love the layout. A lot of times, one of the things that I think people lose sight of, particularly in smaller press books. Obviously, this is not a really small press book. A lot of these guys just start out getting Kickstarter. Just starting out doing Kickstarter or one of those. But the layouts work really well for it as well. I actually have a background in print and graphic design, so I love seeing it when somebody picked the right panel layout. It sounds dumb, but boy, it looks fantastic. It really does.
And the color, the color grading, it's fine.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out, like, Will does the colors and the pencils and the ink, so it's like, we're basically the two of us do the entire book. So I letter it and write it, and Will does all of the artwork.
But
is Frank Miller doing Daredevil?
Well, like, going back to what you're saying, like when you have like a group that, like, creators that work together and they keep working together. Eric and I always have a conversation in the beginning being like, no matter what, no matter how I might fight you on something, but I want you to tell me if it's not right, if you're not happy, I don't care. I will kill any of my darlings. Like, let's just make sure this works. And there have been a couple of times where we've had to sit there and go back for 4 days on something. And finally at the end, it's just like, no, you're right, Eric. It's maybe a great panel. I may love it, but it doesn't serve the story. So we have to cut it. We have to do something different. And every time it's like, God damn it, he's right.
Any good relationship, communication is the key.
The best thing
you
about
have to
this,
be comfortable with the other person
Oh,
and
that's
open
true.
and honest and
Trust-
upfront
yeah,
about
trust-
all of it.
That's as hard to do.
Resentment does not foster a good relationship.
No. And
so
especially if you end up being wrong.
does that relationship carry over to, like letterer, editor, for those aspects of the book? I mean, obviously writer and artist typically work very, very much hand in hand. But it's not just the two people that make most books, right? Typically, now obviously you're doing the coloring stuff on this as well, but sometimes you have a colorist, sometimes you'll have an inker.
Yeah.
It's
the toughest part of comics in my experience, is like trying to find someone you trust. And when you do, it's just like whatever you can do to hold on to them. Like, I don't know if you, like, Eric did all the lettering in this book. And until I worked with Eric, you kind of take it for granted until you have to do it yourself. And then when you see what a person can bring to your art, it's like I hand him something that I'm like, man, I've spent days. I was just talking to him about it earlier today. I spent days working on this. And then I read his like latest edit with the colors in full, like, with his letters, excuse me. And it's just like, it comes alive. Suddenly something that I know upwards and backwards and downwards, and suddenly it's this whole new thing because of this one extra element. It's like, it's when the comic becomes a comic instead of just being art.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, sorry, Eric, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's hard to find that right team, and with the artists that I've worked with, two of them have colored their own work, Will and David Halverson. I work with, and I do another comic, Dead Horse, with Marissa Louise, and she was amazing with all of the color work. But for me, like, the lettering part has always been something I had to do, and the idea of working with another letterer, not because I don't think they would do a better job than I would, I'm sure they would, but I'm constantly rewriting, at the very last minute, like whatever the script is almost never what is on the page. Because once I see the art and how it's been interpreted through Will's mind, then I'm going to get a new idea for, this, I don't need to have these words here. And I would feel so guilty to have to go to someone else and be like, yeah, I want to change this. And I mean, that happens all the time when you talk to letters and how frustrating it is for them to get, the book's supposed to be done and then they're getting edits. So as much as I would like to work for, some other companies, like to give up that, even though this is Dark Horse, it still feels like, and I don't know, Will, you feel the same way, that it almost is an independent book, because that's sort of what I'm used to anyway. It's pretty much the two of us. Well, we have great editors on this book, but we're pretty much just the two of us working together as if we were putting it out ourselves.
And that's, it's like the editors at Dark Horse have been wonderful in being supportive for us and kind of making sure we produce our best work, but it's never felt like anything other than independent. It's about like the creative jam of it all and seeing what comes out. And like we were just saying earlier, Eric, I was rereading this book just to kind of be like, we finished it 6 months ago, whatever it was. And the edits you continue to make, every time I come across them, I'd be like, oh, that's it. That's perfect. Like that nailed what, even though it's nothing like what I originally read in the script.
Right. Well, eventually it's like, Eric, stop changing things. It's got to go out the door, Thank God it's at the printer now, so I can't tweak it, because whenever I look at it, I'm like, oh, that should have been that way.
Yeah. The curse of the creator. You're always looking at it after it's done, going, "Ooh, I could have done this."
Well, comics is so strange because there's so much time between the point that you're writing the script to when you're seeing the artwork to when you're seeing it actually in print, that you're really, three different people. So when I read the book now, and like it hasn't been printed yet, so we haven't gotten our comps, but I know when I read it, it's going to be like time travel. Like, who was the guy that wrote this? I mean, Will, you worked on this for 3 years doing the artwork? 2.5, something like that, from start to finish. I mean,
all the different pitches and whatnot, but final actual work, it was an entire year. But man, what a year, right, guys? Like, and the worst part is you get to the end, and I remember joking with Eric that like I got to like page 152, and like something about the characters clicked, and now it's like that part of me is like, I want to go back to the beginning. Like, I want to just kind of start little bits here, little bits there, and just like, no, it's just stop. Next one. Next one.
I talked about myself doing the tweaking. Will is just as bad. We'll get to the end and be like, I got it now, and then he's back to like the first chapter, redoing character models and stuff so it matches.
Well, already
just give me one. Just give me one.
Well, just by the first couple chapters that I've read, I can already see that you already have the potential for sequels. You have potential for prequels. You have the parents of this kid where just a couple lines of dialogue that I remember you being just the same way as our child. And you're just as stubborn. There's a whole story right there. You find how the sword was made from the world tree. There is so much, just little nuances, and this is just sprinkled over the first couple chapters, and I can't wait to finish it. But again, I'm afraid of spoiling things to the whole world on YouTube.
Well, whenever I'm doing stuff like that too, for me, it helps to sort of build the world out as large as I can, and that means sort of putting all these seeds down that may grow into something else if I decide to revisit it or not. So there's lots of that. And a couple of months or like sometime last year, I actually put together like a tabletop role-playing game for Dungeons and Dragons that takes place in this world as sort of a prequel that I'm hoping comes out before the book comes out, which was so much fun because then we could actually, some of the characters that were mentioned in the book, we can actually have like backstories for, and people can play as them and everything. So there's so much little things that you can do. And even Will, you always said when you were drawing it, you always wanted to put something like off in the distance that we could revisit at some future point.
A big inspiration for this, on top of all these like 80s fantasy things, we always talked in the beginning, is like some of our favorite video games and how like we wanted to kind of take a lot of those conventions and turn them on their end. And Eric did such a great job with, like you said, filling all these like this mythology and lore that seemed to be just over the horizon. So I would just try to do the same thing when we're drawing it and just be like, well, as soon as he lets me tell a story over there, there's dinosaurs over there, and over here there's something else, and here's a pirate cove, and just I wanted to make it feel when you read it almost as if there's side quests. We're in the main quest right now, but if you wanted to go over there, there's a story.
That's a cool concept too.
Especially when you
Yeah,
have a book
it's
like
not-
We Live that came out, and it was a great story. We Live, the Inaki brothers, and you get to the very final issue, and you're thinking, well, considering how this whole thing's been playing out, this is over now. You get to the last issue. Hey, by the way, this is a whole new world we're building, and we can go in any number of directions. And so far, this is what I'm looking at right here, right now. A whole new world.
It's kind of like that feeling of the end. Never-ending story was the big one for me while we were playing. It was Legend for him. Never-ending story for me, and that same kind of concept of just like being a little kid and at the end being like, and there were many adventures and many stories and many wishes. Be like, well, come on, I want them. Like it like lets you have a little bit of that warmth as a kid, knowing that these characters continue on.
Cycling through all the comments there. So,
oh geez, I just realized I asked like 3 questions and my headset was on mute the whole time.
No way!
I was like, wow, I can't believe they're ignoring me like that.
Well, forget you,
So, can I ask you what got you guys into comics to begin with?
Oh, for me, it was my dad took me to up here in the Rochester Museum and Science Center had like a superhero event for, I think it was the 50th anniversary of DC Comics or something like that. And he bought me Man of Steel #1, I think it was. And there's something I have it framed on my wall. It was this moment, and it was just basically relentless after that day.
Yeah, for me, like my dad would take me to this diner, and they had like next to the diner, this little luncheonette next to there was like a little shop, and they had the spinner rack. So I would just go and grab comics, and the first one I can remember was Detective Comics 526. It was like the 500th appearance of Batman, and I can still remember it had like, because I was a fan, I didn't really know comics at the point, but I liked the Adam West show a lot. And so I was used to only, the Joker and the Penguin and like a handful of villains. And in that book, like when you opened the first page to that double page spread, and it was like all of my enemies against me. And it was just this whole stage of all these crazy characters that I'd never seen before. I just completely fell in love with comics, I think, at that point. And then from there on, it was just something that I really got into. It was fun to get lost in there and not be in the actual world, but to exist with all these stories. And I always loved the fact that when you drop in, it's not a #1, at the time, it's usually like number 200 or whatever for me. And how much time was before then and how much time would be after that moment, and how cool that is as a concept. And just the idea of a continuing story built upon by so many different creators is just fascinating.
Yeah.
I miss the spinner rack. I wish I had a spinner rack. They're too much money, but one day I will.
But once a month, I kind of go online and check. Like,
I've done that. Well, hey, once the animated movie comes in with Studio Ghibli, I'm sure that we can get it.
There you go. That Ghibli money.
You got to spend that Ghibli bucks.
The little heads at the top.
Yeah. So there's a website you can get a spinner rack. They're not the old ones, but they're professionally made, but they are completely sold out until like May or June.
Yeah.
And I keep wondering, should I put in an order? They're only like $300 or $400. Ooh, look, another book I can buy.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of price.
Yeah.
That kind of price, you can get a real nice book. If you're gonna drop $400 on a spinner rack, boy, there's a lot of books you get for $400.
Get some omnibuses.
Right.
It's like spinner rack and pinball machine are two things that one day I will own.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. Spinner rack and a Space Ace arcade game. That's mine. You remember Space Ace?
Oh yeah.
Whew.
Brutal.
That old arcade game was like Dragon's Lair. Everybody remembers that one was tough. Space Ace made Dragon's Lair look like the grade school version of that game. Everything was impossible on it.
I remember renting it for the Genesis. I think it was the Genesis, and being like, what the hell is this?
The same thing.
This is like so mean. Like, am I doing something wrong? Is the controller broken?
Yeah. So totally unrelated to your book, but what's your favorite comic, like, ever? Like, what's if you've had to pick one? And it's okay. It doesn't. You're not like you can change your mind later. So if like
I'm
take a shot in
beholden
the
to
dark.
this.
I can't answer what my favorite is because it's always changing. But I will say my favorite at this exact moment is I'm reading Walt Simonson's Thor omnibus, and it's just I look forward to it every night. It's like such a wonderful joy. I don't think I could pick like a favorite book because there would be too much. But that is like something that I'm reading now that I didn't read ever before, and I didn't read it when I was a kid, that I'm loving.
Good choice. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
I think for me, honestly, it's not it's Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh,
Yes, Calvin and Hobbes.
I remember same kind of thing. I'm visiting my dad in his office, and there was one sitting there on the counter, and it was just like I opened it up and I read it endlessly until it fell apart, and then I'd buy a new one at the Scholastic book fair if I was lucky. I'd read it till it fell apart, and it's just endless. And just the fact that the books could have anything in them.
Right.
Yeah.
It was Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, or origami book for me. That's what you can get for Scholastics.
Just
Let's see
waiting
how
for Sunday
old
script.
everybody is. I remember Mad Libs. I just remember putting profanities in them and going, I'm reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was choose your own dirty words is what they should have called Mad Lib. They should not have. It should have just been choose your own dirty words. You said Calvin and Hobbes. I was a big fan of that as well. Spencer and Locke. You should take a look at that sometime if you ever get the chance. We had the creator of that book. We had the creator of that book on, and it's basically Calvin and Hobbes growing up in Sin City. So it takes a bit of a turn compared to the stories that we're used to, but fantastic. I was talking earlier today, and I think there's some great stories that can be told in the monthly comic book format, and obviously this is a graphic novel format.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some stories that fit in one better than the other. And when you're writing, are you thinking, or when you're creating these books, are you thinking of to yourself, I want to do this as a self-contained story, or do you consider, will this work better as a monthly? Will this just work better as, getting the whole story out at once? Is that something that goes into the creative process as you're writing and drawing the book?
I mean, for me, I'm more drawn to, I think, the graphic novel format, or at least like a mini series or something that has a beginning and an end. Mm-hmm. I'm almost filled with anxiety. I'm filled with anxiety anyway all the time, but I'm filled with anxiety like when I think about having to do a book that never stops, and that'll just like freak me out. So I feel like with the way my brain's programmed, I have to sort of see it. I have to see the end, and then I have to put it together. And for me, I mean, we're working with Dark Horse, but most of my stuff is self-published, which takes forever. So doing sort of one self-contained book that I can sell at cons and shows forever is much better than having, like, I have another book, Dead Horse, and we haven't had it's a 12-issue limited run, and we're stuck at, like, it's been 4 years, I think, at this point, or 5, 6, maybe even 6 years since the last issue came out. So it's just not practical to do a monthly book at my level anyway. If I was working for another company where I knew the machinery is going to go and my bank account is not a thing that's vital, then I think. But so for me, when I'm thinking about a story, it's almost always a complete thought or a complete contained story.
Okay.
Yes. Is that the same for you, Will, because you're doing a monthly book? Will's actually working on a monthly book that I had nothing to do with now versus like the graphic novel.
So like right now I'm doing, I just started work on the final issue of Kadoja Volume 3. So from 215 Inc. And I just actually signed on to do the entire next volume because giant monsters, who could say no?
Right.
But it's same thing though. It's self-published. So like I have wonderful creator in Keith Foster who's just kind of like, you take as much time as you need. And it's like, well, you shouldn't tell me that. Like you never tell a perfectionist take as much time as you need because there's always another week. But like, yeah, that same anxiety Eric's talking about when you sit there and be like, oh my God, if I had to work 12 hours, rain or shine, every single day, regardless, to get that book out, there is that little bit of, okay. But once you're in it, there's a certain appeal to that beginning, middle, end that Eric's talking about, where when you know where you're headed and you know what due diligence you're doing these characters and where you're going to get to pay off something that you set up in the first 10 pages. That's what my favorite thing is in the whole world. Like knowing that if I do right by a character here, you will fall in love with them, hopefully at the end, or something will make that entire process worth it. That's what comics are for me.
I mean, I am interested in the idea of the episode, like a truly, multi-year episodic storytelling, especially like going back to the Walt Simonson Thor book, like the way that he weaves in the A, B, and C stories and just will spend a minute on some image that you don't know what it is. And then he'll keep, feeding that seed and watering that seed until all of a sudden it comes together. It's kind of a cool concept. So I think like, if I ever do one, I think I will have a lot of fun with it. It's just a little bit intimidating, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, look at somebody like Kurt Swan who did Superman for like 40 or 50 years or something. I mean, I don't know how it was a long freaking time. Up there, then talk about a book that's never going to end. He could have drawn Superman, ad infinitum. He could have just kept drawing. If the man never passed away, he'd still be drawing Superman to this day. But 35 years after his death or 25 years after his death.
I think muscle memory, he could still do it even dead.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
just hand in the grave, continually doing that. I was just on vacation.
Still studying him.
I just took like a week of. I got my Marvel Unlimited trial. And I decided to read every single one of the old Ultimate Spider-Mans from.
It's good. It really is.
It is.
It's so good, but it's the same kind of thing. 100+ issues, and I'm sitting there next to my wife, telling her like, "Hey, the thing to remember is there was what was it like? It was like 3 a month. There were so many. I don't know how he made those books and kept them looking so good."
Yeah, wasn't Mark doing the penciling and inking on that?
Yes.
Was he? There was so many inkers.
Yeah, I don't think for the whole book. I think they had to bring some in at certain points, particularly when it went to 2 or 3 or whatever it was. How often, when they upped the publication schedule. But for there was a period of time there where he was essentially handling all the art chores. I think they had a different colorist, but he was essentially handling pencils and inks. And, just banging those books out. And you're right. They were all gorgeous. I don't know how he kept the quality up.
It's just, the tracks in front of the train. It's incredible.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's kind of what that's what comics are from the moment you start trying to do them. Is like every single project is, I don't think I can do this, but I'm going to try. And that kind of serialized fiction, it's just, that's the show, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I've kind of noticed between a self-contained 4-issue, 6-issue, 12-issue, even 24-issue story, if you have something from beginning to end, fully plotted out, you can go back, fix all those nuances. But when you have a book coming out from month to month, you just have to keep the pressure going to keep it going until eventually maybe the readers finally get to understand at some point, like Bleach, the anime, you realize the writers don't know where they're going either.
Right. It happened in Naruto too.
Right.
That's like the cautionary tale of this entire generation is like when you have to make content 24/7. At some point, those cracks are going to form, and it's certainly why I was drawn to these kind of projects with Eric, where it's like, let's tell this one story. Goblin is an adventure. a singular adventure. If we dragged that out too long, it would completely devalue the journey, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, we're coming up on 45 minutes here. I had one more question I wanted to ask you. I don't know if Rob had anything else for you, but I am a lifelong fan of Jack Kirby. He's been a hero to me since I was a wee lad, and I first read Commandy and got to see a boy in jean shorts fight talking lions, Jack Kirby had a lot of things that he said over the years, and one of them that stands out to me, and I ask a lot of creators this, how they feel about this, but one of the things Jack said is comics will break your heart. It's certainly a different world today for creators than it was during Jack's heyday. He spent almost his whole life hunched over a drawing table, just to survive. And was just banging out pages, just amazing, incredible pages that to this day, I don't think anybody else has come close to matching that style. But with your experience with comics, is it the kind of thing that breaks your heart, or are you guys still totally in love with it?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of it, right?
What's that?
Anytime you love something, anytime you have passion for something, that's the only time it can break your heart, right? Like, you have to be all,
right. Sometimes it's like the only thing that can keep your heart whole too. Like sometimes it's it can save your heart. But like with him, like thinking about all the horrible things that happened to Kirby and Ditko and all the guys with bad contracts and everything, and not being able to get his artwork back and all those horror stories. I mean, I think it's a bit better now, but it is. I mean, you have to be in love with the thing because you're realistically never going to ever make your money back. Like it's a very expensive, when you think about how much money it costs to make just a single comic, from every member of the team to printing costs to everything else, like you would have to really charge like $100 an issue, and no one's going to pay that. So you sit behind your table and there's no one coming by, and you got your stack of books and the dreams are on fire, and you go home to your sadness cave. But there's something about it that just keeps bringing you back, whether it's the story or just, the artwork or whatever. I don't know how to answer that question. Yes, it breaks your heart, but it's there to comfort you at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like giving you a hug and slapping you in the face at the same time. Like, dummy, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?
Tough love.
Oh, like most of my ex-girlfriends.
If it was easy, if it was safe, nobody would, like, there are so many things you could be doing if you wanted money, if you wanted fame with your talents, that you could be doing it. But you do comics because you love comics, because there's something, whether it be that, like Eric was saying, that one book that you happened to grab at the grocery store that time, or pulling the Dark Knight Returns off of the library shelf and being, what the hell is this? Something captures you, and then you spend the rest of your life chasing it because you want that feeling. It's like a drug of any kind.
Right.
And that will always break your heart, but in a good way, right? You should be so lucky.
Well, I mean, with anything, I think with anything that you put your heart into or your passion, there's a vulnerability to it, for putting your work out there and for other people seeing it and saying terrible things or not buying it or ripping you off or doing whatever. So just by its nature, that it is such a personal experience that's let out there, it's very easy to get that heart broken. But you just have to, it's got to be it's a pretty good drug if you're going to keep going back, right?
Must be. At the very least, it must be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Years.
What if we all just decided, we're like, comics isn't working out, and the whole show shuts down and everybody puts their books away? And what have I been doing with my life?
Well, the one thing that
carried the
noticed,
two, and I've made a huge mistake.
So I'm sure all y'all know who Joe Madureira is. He did Battle Chasers. He left to go do video games for about a good solid decade. He's back again. He's going to be doing more books. And, if you love comic books, no matter what, you wind up coming back. Just look at the pandemic from last year. You wound up having people saying comics might die, And instead, the exact opposite happened. More readers than ever, more people with money flowing into the industry than ever before, really. And I'm seeing nothing but brightness ahead. And I know we're coming up to about 11 o'clock, so I see Miracle Man just brought up some more artwork here. And if y'all wanted to throw out last pitch for everybody to come on and read Goblin.
I mean,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, it's June 8th. We could definitely, if this looks good, if you liked everything that Will has said, and you didn't fall asleep with what I have said, just look at the artwork. You're gonna love the artwork. Pre-orders are open right now, and we really need them. I mean, just the pre-orders are gonna drive how good our book does when it releases on June 8th. So if it looks like something you like, you know someone that likes it, please let them know. Look at it. It's adorable.
And if you don't like it, just read it anyways. I mean, I want you to tell me everything you don't like because I want to be better, right?
Buy the book and hate read it. Hate read it if you have
this book.
I'm gonna hate pre-order this so bad.
That'll really stick it to Will and Eric. If you hate Will and Eric, buy Goblin and just rage at them. Buy it for all your friends so they can rage at them too.
Well, in that case, here's my pitch.
If that comes to pass, like you just see single tear rolling down my but as I'm counting the money as the tears are coming down. You suck.
Oh, I hate this 100. This is terrible.
They're buying it. People are yelling at them. They're throwing it on the fire.
Then
It doesn't have to be the apocalypse.
Buy the book. It is coming out on June the 8th, 2021. It's called Goblin. Buy it if you like it. Buy it to hate read. Hell, I buy all Brian Michael Bendis books that were Superman just so I could hate read. Did I really hate it all? Probably not, because I still read every one of them, but you buy it anyway. Buy the book.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for coming to join us. Please, anytime you guys are working on a project, we would love to have you back on the show and talk about it with you. Really enjoyed having you on.
You got it.
Awesome. We'll do. Definitely.
Thanks,
all right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.
Have a great evening.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goblin is out as of June the 8th, 2021. Meanwhile, Gregory Suicide is now out at your local comic shop, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much wherever books are sold.
Yes, and remember that June 8th release date, guys, that is available, making it available to Amazon and bookstores. You'll be able to get the book. I think they said March 26th through your LCS if they ordered it. Of course, March 20. Did I say March? May 26th. Because you had to order it in January. We looked up the solicit. It was in January's Diamond preview. So if you shopped and order it and you want to get it, bookstores June 8th.
Yeah, from what I've read, because I was doing a lot of reading before coming on here, and there are like 2 ISDN numbers for bookstores. So there's 2 different ways to order it from a bookstore. And then there's the FOC, which is consequently on the same date as it gets released to bookstores. So go figure what the book and comic industry is doing right now as far as release schedules. Just ask Marvel. Oh, wait, no one knows what's going on right now. So, Lady Fantastic, if you're out there and you're watching, it is now free to come in. Water, nice and warm. We're going to show some new comic books. Did everyone get us some stuff today?
We are?
I did.
What'd you get?
I just got my regular stuff. Just my regular stuff.
Let's see what you got there, Sean. It's on the mind.
Let's see.
Oh, I had to open up my big ass mouth.
Absolutely.
I only got a chance to read like 2 things. And those 2 things were good. What did I get? As soon as I get off the stream with you all, and I close my laptop, and I grab me a delicious drink, I'm going to read this because I've been enjoying Far Sector. Sorry, I don't have no bag and blowers. I got to pick some up tomorrow. But here's Far Sector. What issue is this? 11. So I think this is like one more issue away from completing And this is one of the books that I read today. I'm like a couple issues away from finishing it, but I love the new design for the Scarecrow. I don't know if you read the issue before this one, but literally in the beginning of every issue, I'm sorry for spoiling it. I won't spoil it, but literally the beginning of the issue, it's always been an intense run with him, and it's been really good.
Just tell me this much: does it feel more like a precursor to everything that was the future state?
I just know. I didn't. That's another thing I have to catch up on this future state, but I didn't really have that feel. Honestly, it was it's just basically picking up off where the series ended last time during Joker Wars. You know, with the whole mayor, the new mayor and everything. So it's. I mean, it still picks up from the story. This is really good. I thought this was going to be like, another Image issue 1. This was actually really good. I really like the story for this one. So I definitely recommend this one. We'll see what issue number 2 looks like. But definitely a great read for sure. Another X-Men book. Here's Marauders number 19.
I'm sorry.
I officially took these books. Well, not I didn't. I'm gonna keep Marauders and the X-Men and the X-Men the main X-Men title. But this is gone. This is the last Excalibur that you'll ever see in my pile. I just can't do all the X-Men books. Here's Avengers 44. I think we're still doing the Phoenix. I think this is the new Phoenix.
Yeah.
I'm like one issue behind, so. And this is officially being taken off my list because I don't read. This is like your Flash, dude. I haven't read it since issue 1, but I have issue. I never got issue number 2 because I just missed it on my pool, and then I got to bring it up, and it's just like my OCD. I can't do it. After I get my beverage and I drink it and I read Far Sector, I'll be reading this one because this Immortal Hulk has been really good.
And almost over.
What's up?
And it's almost over.
It is. I'm sad. This has been a really good one. I think I'm the only one in the group that's enjoying this. I love this little dimension jumping kitty. Inkblot's really good. I would love to interview the creator for this. That would be so cool. I've seen some of her interviews. She's a really cool person. Here's of course King in Black. That's only the read issue. I think I read 4. But this is thick, so this is going to be an interesting read.
Read Venom 34 first.
First, okay, I will. I got Noctura. I read issue 1, and it was good. I need to go back and read it again. Yes, I love Inkblot. It's so good. But I'm hoping this issue number 2 kind of like explains it a little bit more because I was just a little, what is going on? But this is really good. I can't wait to.
You're reading that.
Yes. Is this not good?
No, I heard it's fantastic. I just completely missed out on the first issue.
Oh, I'll see if I can find issue 1 for you. But yeah, I love it. It's like, I mean, I grew up watching like that comedy Robin Hood and like the Disney classic Robin Hood. We always had like a positive, idea of, even though he's murdering, fighting people, he's robbing for the rich and giving to the poor. This gives a very like dark side to Robin Hood, and I just love it. And it's almost like a cop, like a kind of like noir cop show in their time, So it's really good. And then here's okay. So I guess this is gonna be number 3. Venom number 23 or 34, right? Yeah.
And then right
This is
after that,
the second to last one. The one after
second to
this.
last one, the last issue is 35, which will be slash 200.
Yeah. Here's Knock 'em Dead, number
Same
4.
mark.
I still need to read issue number 3. It's on my read pile. But issue 1 and 2 are really good. This is a really good story. And then I've been loving Origins. I just finished reading issue 4. I gotta read 5. It's my spring break. I'm slowly catching up on books. But here's 6 of 6. So the series. Hold on. I knew that was coming. My allergies. Woo, been really bad.
Your trees.
I know. All the pollen in the world. But yeah, that's all I got this week. No extra goodies. Yeah.
Is there anybody else that wants to show some books?
Miracle Man should go.
Hey, here it is.
I can show some books. I got a couple of books. Couple of books. All right. So first up, I'm going to show you guys some Kickstarter books that I got in this week. I actually got 2 Kickstarter rewards in.
2.
Now, we have not had these creators on the show, although I'm going to be fitting on trying to fix that. Yet, exactly. So first up, we have Burn Residue here. Second issue. When they did the first issue, I bought they did a thing where you get all 3 issues. All 3 issues as they were produced. So I did that. So here's the second one. First one, when I first opened it and looked at it, I said, this seems like a weird story. It's actually a really good, I don't want to ruin anything, but a really good revenge tale. Okay. Very much enjoyed it. Was very happy to get the second book. And I tore right through it. Now listen, I don't know how many books they've done. It's a Kickstarter book. But as Kickstarter books go, is definitely one of the better ones I've read. Next up, and wait till you see this cover, guys. You might have seen this solicited in Diamond. I had ordered it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's the first issue got enough orders, so it didn't come out through Diamond. Or if it did, it's coming out next month. I'm not sure. But here we have Bloom number 1.
Sweet.
Look at that autograph.
Yeah.
Gorgeous cover.
Yeah, that's trippy, dude.
From Hero Tomorrow Comics.
Is that one of those that are coming out with the first issue and then the trade paperback after?
So they're coming out with the first issue, but they solicited issue 2. It's in Diamond.
Oh.
It's in previews this month. So I don't know what the situation there is. I might look in the Kickstarter. Maybe it explains a little more. I don't know. I didn't want to take a chance of missing out on this freaking cover. Just look at that. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. The color, the design layout is fantastic. Whoever drew this has taken acid. I don't know them. They didn't tell me. But I looked at this cover and said that person has taken acid.
I would agree with you.
And I know that because I've read many books about taking acid. Up next,
clearly into belly dancing.
Up next, here we have. They sent this book because they blew through their. Oh wait, for Ace, I forgot. Pussy, marijuana. We have an extra book they threw in is Tap Dance Killer number 3.
Interesting.
Not read this yet, but does this not look like some of the most interesting collection of characters you've ever seen?
Sounds like that they were like hiding out during like the Warriors, and then when everything calmed down, they came up and started like tearing up shit.
Right. Absolutely. So I haven't read that one yet. I plan on reading it. Now for the new books this week. Stuff we picked up off the rack. We got a little 7 Secrets from Tom Taylor. We got a little Green Lantern number 1. Love that cover.
Let me
Love
know
that.
how that is. I was kind of like skeptical.
Interior art is great.
Okay.
I remember who it is yet. Story. I like the story so far. Haven't finished it, but I read like the opening act on it.
How bad does it sound that I really want all the DC books to be written really poorly so I don't feel bad about dropping them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not picking up everything from DC.
What about Swamp Thing?
That next Batman, I skipped that. The second issue Swamp Thing, I skipped that. Although I got the first issue and I liked it.
I ain't picking up the first issue. No.
It's just too much. I don't want to do it. I'll kick myself like with New 52. I'll kick myself because I went back and I bought all that stuff. Chip Zdarsky and Michael Walsh's The Silver Coin #1 came out. This is a bit of a horror story, guys.
Have you read that yet?
I paged through it. I didn't read it.
Because the thing that I need to know the most, and I need to know this, will Chip be writing the whole series, or is it really going to be a new writer and artist team for every issue?
I don't know. I thought this was Zdarsky. I thought this was his.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure because I think I saw issue 3, and in the solicits, and issue 3 says Zdarsky. So almost positive. Mm-hmm. Then I got this variant cover for Crime Syndicate #2. This is the new Night Owl. So if you guys remember in not Infinite Frontier, in whatever the event, Dark Knights, Death Metal, Twisted Saga, Joker Who Laughs, Batman Who Cries. I don't know what freaking book it was, but that last big event.
Oh, Death Metal.
Night Owl actually, he tries to stop them from resetting the universe. He's like, well, I don't want to be reset. And then he realizes that there's always a Night Owl in every version of the multiverse. If there's a multiverse, if there's more than one Earth, a version of Night Owl has existed all along. So here's our newest version. Okay, so I'm wrong, Ace. Thank you. Thank you for pointing out I was wrong live on the show, Ace. Helen Mirren rules. Don't be mad at me. But it's a slightly different. So listen. Here's what this crime syndicate is. This is the founding of the crime syndicate. Okay, so you've never really seen their founding before. You have. It was lame because it was back in the '60s when comic books were written for children, and the story's not great. So this is a brand new origin story, and it has shades. It has shades of Justice League's New 52 origin mixed with their original origin from Brave and the Bold 28. Highly recommend it. Listen, you put Crime Syndicate in anything, I'm gonna buy it. If I went to the store and they made adult diapers with Crime Syndicate on it, I would buy every package proudly and walk right up and buy them. Death Metal 6. Yes, thank you, Dusty. I do not care what Crime Syndicate comes on. DC, if you're ever listening, you're missing out on an entire revenue stream because I will buy all of it. And if I have to buy all of it to keep it in production, I will. I don't care if I bankrupt myself, okay? Give me more. I will. Give me more Crime Syndicate. Suicide Squad #2. This one I read. I love it. It's so good. Totally different. If you read the last series of Suicide Squad, just forget about it. Just forget it. It's totally different. This is leading us up to, the new frontier or the future state or whatever. I don't know what the hell they were calling it. You know what I'm talking about. The little 2-issue miniseries they did. I also picked up 4th printing of Star Wars High Republic.
On purpose?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're a Star Wars fan. I shouldn't.
Yeah. It's the first appearance of some Jedi. It's the 4th printing. Next year this could be a $150 book, like my 5th printing of Thanos 13. Immortal Hulk 45. And besides, I wanted to read it. I did. I remember I had it in my hand, the first printing. I was like, man, I put it down. And I was like, I might as well read it. Immortal Hulk 45. I think we got like 5 more issues on that. Haven't read that one yet, but man, they've really been kicking the Hulk around. Let my boy have some wins, for Christ's sakes.
Put some weight on him.
Right.
Give him a sandwich, something.
Right. Give the man a sandwich.
I agree.
Here we have Deep Beyond #3. The first 2 issues were just phenomenal. Totally earned a 3rd issue pickup. Brand new volume of the Resistance from AWA Upshot, Resistance Uprising. Guys, if you missed Resistance, it came out right as the pandemic hit last year. But I'll tell you right now, it was
I forgot to pick that up.
one of the best superhero books I read last year, period. One of the best ones. Really great. Cannot recommend it enough.
Isn't that like the second one shot they came out with? They came out with another one shot, right?
This isn't a one shot. This is volume 2. So this is going to be a 6-issue mini. But yes, they did come out with a one shot. I forget what it was called. It was basically like, individual vignettes of different characters.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a companion series coming out called Moths.
Damn, I need to pick this.
So get it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Here we go from Boom Studios, Magic #1. I know a bunch of us heard a couple weeks back how Boom was going to drop a new Magic book, and a bunch of those acclaimed Magic books started disappearing, getting hot again. A little bit of an echo there. I don't know who's coming back on that. Just as a heads up. But that came out today. Haven't read it yet. Flip through it though. Looks good. A little Savage Dragon 258. I don't know what.
Did he drop out?
Yeah, I think he just.
No. Maybe it was coming from his side.
I mean, it has to be. I wonder if his
There
power
he
is
is.
or something.
There
Oh,
he
he's
is.
back.
Hey, welcome back.
I don't know what happened. I don't know
Go
what
back
happened.
to this guy.
Internet hates me. I think it was telling me to wrap it up. Lady, did you have control?
No.
Okay. Then we got Avengers #44. Listen, I'm kind of cooling on Avengers. I gotta lie. Kind of cooling on it.
Oh, good. Because Donny Cates is taking it over. Oh, shit. Did I just say that?
I know. That's why I'm going to stick with it. So, that's the last new book. I did pick up a few back issues. A few. And a couple of books that came out last week. First of all, I got Beta Ray Bill #1. I don't know how I missed that last week.
It was, I heard people didn't like it, but I
like
it. It was a great read.
I
it
like
was very
Daniel John.
emotional. That was an emotional read.
It was. Here we got Vietnam Horror #1 from Behemoth. Two Moons #2. Got that Shadecraft.
So good.
Got the Vault Vintage of Witchblade #1.
Damn it, I need that. Yeah. That's so cool.
And while I was there, I found this. She Said Destroy #1 with that Vault Vintage cover.
Oh wow.
I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna have a wall of Vault Vintage covers. And I'm gonna send a picture to the Vault team.
I love that saga.
It's a great cover. Now, here's the thing. I love it, and I'm not saying anything, but is that really vintage? I mean, that's kind of like, what was that, 2012? Like, that's not that old.
Vintage is an homage, though.
It's an homage. Yes. Then I got Chew #1. Don't know how I missed that first issue when it came out, but there we go. It's almost done with my Fables run. I stopped collecting it like around issue 100 originally. I need 3 more issues now. Here's number 127.
So close.
Couple of Savage Dragons. You know how I love finding my Savage Dragons? There's 38. 47. So look at these covers. And 48.
That's
yes,
great.
That is a chicken-headed, superpowered person.
Why wouldn't it be?
Right. I mean, that's duh.
No, not Poyo.
Right. And then
we're all old shattered
We're
glass.
retro.
That's all right.
No, we're all really old, dude.
I got this beautiful Greg Land cover today.
Ooh, yeah.
X-Men
534.
532.
Oh, shit.
All I know is that's
32.
one of the last issues I'm missing.
It's one of the last issues of the original run.
544 is the last issue.
Yeah, very close to the end. I also did a dig at one of my honey holes, and I got a short box worth of comics. The only problem with this place is it's in a basement, so I can't put them with the other comics. They got to stand off by themselves because they got that funk.
Dryer sheets.
Yeah, they got some dryer sheets. They got some dryer sheets in the box. It's also got. I've also put some of that silicate in there because that kind of supports the smell.
Good idea.
From Chaos, Suspiria 2 and 4.
Release the kill.
From Acclaim by Fabian Nicieza. I'm sorry, Fabian. Troublemaker #1,
I
#2,
got trouble on my mind.
and #3.
On my mind.
Really weird book here. How to grab it. Warp Graphics Annual #1 with a Panda Con appearance as well as
Children
Thunder
Warrior?
Bunny. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Here we have a 7-Up variant cover for the movie adaptation of Superman 3. That was available at your local Hardee's restaurant. Here we have another. This one's a giveaway. The produced in cooperation with the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse, Spider-Man and Power Pack. Love finding these, man.
Like
You know,
3 of those.
But the great things about these are if you people who got these books, they didn't take care of them.
Like,
that.
By and large, they didn't take care of them. Because they were giveaways, so it didn't cost you anything. They kind of got rolled up, beat up, tossed around. So to find nice ones, it's just nice to find. Just nice to find. I also found, where is it? And down it goes. I also found myself a nice couple of Hulk books. There's some recent hotness to the Hulk books. I don't know if you guys know this. Were you aware?
The
Hotness.
immortal ones?
Hotness. No. These are older runs.
The regular ones.
13.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Red Hulk run. 14.
I'm working on that run, too.
21.
Damn,
And from
that's a great cover.
From the original run, Incredible Hulk number 436.
Oh,
Ghosts
that's a
of
great
Future
cover.
Past. That is Maestro there, gang.
oh shit, dude, I know.
I'm not
That's
familiar.
the Yep.
Oh, I love you, ladies.
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
book to get. That's a book to get. What'd you say, Lady Fantastic?
No, I said I
Love you,
love
Dad.
you. I said I love you.
I know. I love you. I love you. You're you're one of my favorite people named Fantastic. Just so you know.
Meow meow meow.
You're my top 5 people named Fantastic.
You only know one.
I know one. Here is the first issue of Eon Flux from Dark Horse.
Ooh.
Here we have issue 3 of the original Aliens miniseries. Nice. Check out this cover. This thing is Listen, all these books were like 50 cents or less. Okay. Here we have from the Ultraverse. Look at this cover. Tell me you wouldn't have bought this book. George Perez's Breakthrough, #1.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, probably because there's like a Christ-like figure.
Classic
No way.
Perez face-off
He's
cover.
not blue, and you can't see his penis.
I can't see this guy's penis. I'm not buying.
I'm not buying.
Yes.
Captain Karen is Amazing Zuko
Oh,
number
guys.
14.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of seeing penises, go check out Whack Comics' newest video.
Yes,
I will
telling you. I'm
Not
telling
do that now that you just said that.
it.
I was going to do it, and then you said that.
Do it. Just do it out of
I-
curiosity.
It's worth it.
If it's as good as the Omegle one that he did,
Look, bro, hold on just a second. Let me.
I'll never look at blankets up the same way
Hold on.
again.
Comics and penises. Comics and penises. Oh, and Planet Arizona. You mean this issue? I've got mine.
There you go.
Ooh, that's
There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Sexy, sexy.
All right, last couple books I'll show here, and then move on. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I found that kind of tough to find, a little weird, and you know how I feel about weird books. From Red Circle Comics Group, drawn,
Zombro.
penciling by Carmine Infantino. You have The Comet #1.
Oh, nice.
Love that. Love it. 80s relaunch of the Archie Superheroes line. The Comet was a standalone. I think it only had 2 issues, but man, just look at that cover. Wraparound cover.
Oh, you got me sold. All you had to say
Right.
was wraparound cover.
Infantino. Shit.
And this is good Infantino because he's penciling, not penciling and inking. I
Yeah.
like Infantino when he doesn't ink his own work because when he inks his own work, it gets too heavy, in my opinion.
Duly noted.
DC special number 815 with the Plastic Man reprints there.
I love
Look at that. Gorgeous. And here we have, this one's kind of tough, guys. Written by a fella who, you know, he had a little bit of a career in comics. He wasn't that big of a deal. Max, from the Max line, here is Destroyer by Robert Kirkman.
Oh, nice.
Very
Number
cool.
1, 2.
That's a great cover.
This one took a crunch, but here's number 4. It took another crunch just there.
It took a crunch. I love that.
This definitely took a crunch up there.
I'm gonna always use it that way. I crunched
number
up my
5.
books.
Yeah, I've crunched a few in my day.
Last two books. Last two books. Magnus Robot Fighter. Here we have the Whitman variant for issue number 44.
Oh, nice. That's a great cover,
dude.
It's like old school.
Magnus's covers were all badass. They were these beautiful painted covers. You know, unfortunately, the interiors did not match the exteriors, or the curtain did not match the carpet, whichever way you want to say it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, beautiful, right? And then you look at the interior, you're like, oh,
yeah, I'm done. That front cover is what sold me.
You showed me a Van Gogh, and then you flipped it open, and it was like, that's a guy who knows how to paint, but not a Van Gogh. Last but not least, and you know, you'll go, why'd you finish with this book? This is a Mobius book from Epic Comics. The art is by Eric Shanauer, but it was written by Mobius. Okay, his Airtight Garage, the Elsewhere Prince, number 3. So I don't know what the deal with these Epic books are. People just didn't collect them a whole lot, but you really don't come across them very often. And anything Mobius touches, I'm interested in. I want to try it out. If you can create the way he creates, I want to know what's going on in that brain of theirs.
I had a homie that has a good. Yeah, his art is just amazing.
So absolutely always have to try it out. So I picked that one up as well. All of those books I got out of my little honey hole. Like I said, they were. I think I paid $40 for a short box, so they were less than 50 cents a book.
Oh,
Van Gogh, Von Joe. I don't know. I do too, Eva. I do too. So that's it. If you want to take it over to Lady F, so she can show us some of her fantastic books.
Ready. That was my echo.
All right. I have a cover by problem, especially with the variants. But
that's not a problem. That's beauty.
It's a Phoenix Jane Foster. Got a Phoenix Echo.
Nice.
And then we got a Phoenix Hulk.
That Phoenix Hulk twisted so many nipples on the reactionary folks online. Oh,
Why?
They're like, I don't want to bang that She-Hulk. Why would they draw her?
Oh, that's not She-Hulk.
That's right. Is that regular Hulk?
Yeah, that's regular Hulk.
Is that Amadeus?
I think. Maybe it is She-Hulk, actually.
It kind of looks like She-Hulk.
It is.
They picked She-Hulk for Phoenix. Yeah, they picked She-Hulk for Phoenix.
She's pretty manly, but yeah. It is a chick.
But you know, you don't have to want to bang every comic book character.
No, I didn't want to bang it.
Well,
now I have to get this. Like,
ooh, that's
dude,
is that a Peach Momoko?
Yeah,
I was like, shit, Peach. I was like, Peach.
That's actually a really good pick cover. I'm always here with her.
I gotta go find that. I need that.
I need that
cover.
Shit, Peach. Shit. Then I got my girl, America. Fuck yeah.
This is a reissue number 1.
Number 2. I got Nocterra number 2.
Y'all keep pulling all these great variants. I didn't see
that cover.
That's a B cover. This is Silver Coin B cover, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Project Patron.
Oh, I've seen that one. I don't know if it's any good.
I don't know why I picked up this one. I just picked up. I should have picked up only one, but I thought somebody needed
Draws
one.
on it. Draw on it.
I'll just draw a wiener. Something. And then Geiger. There you go. A cover, I think. And then I got another little chunk. I don't know why, but it's like this was the variant for the that Magic the Gathering. I think this was the one in every single one. But it's a vampire dude.
Nice.
From I don't know, whatever, dude. I did it out of pure curiosity. I got this in the mail. I've been chasing me down some Jane Foster, and this is a Sorrentino variant, Secret Empire #3.
No way! I've never seen that cover before.
She's got a Hydra flag or a cape.
Hail Hydra, bitch.
She's bad. She bad. No.
What's up, Tacoma?
Hey, Tacoma.
Chunkity chunk.
And then I got in something from Wolf Blitz. Maybe some of these might be shorties, but I think I may have bought all of these. I'm pretty sure I bought all of these. But if not, we can figure it out. Because I was kind of confused. Like, I got this Web of Venom, Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man 95, but I got it because it's the Spirits of Venom Part 1. But he sent 2. I don't know why. But I could have bought 2, or he could have just done it. I don't know. Anyways, we'll figure it out. And then here's Spirits of Venom Part 2 of 4, but it's in the Spirits of Vengeance. But
oh, nice tie-in.
Right. Well, see, I wonder, is there a tie? Is there 1 through 4 in this? And then its own in here? But I think it's a crossover. Because look, Venom, Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, I think it might be a crossover.
It's definitely a crossover. Okay, so 1, and I have 1, and then this one is 2. Okay, so that's issue 5. But then, like, here's issue 6, but it just says Spirits of Venom. Okay.
That's weird. That's a great cover.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
That's probably the best cover I've seen.
That Venom almost looks like an alien from Alien.
Who is it?
A drool, it's like perfect.
Yeah. This was made into a comic card, actually.
Oh, wow. I can see why.
But anyways, you get the idea. Then I don't know why, because I sold all my early or my low Web of Spider-Man, but I'll talk to Steven Spot because he's actually the one that got it from me. But I got this issue 9, newsstand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And number 10, Dominic Fortune.
Slowly working on that run.
Yeah, and then I found this from Wolf Blitz, and I had to get it. It was Spider-Man Adventures number 8. This is the first appearance of the cartoon Venom, or the cartoon symbiote Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's worth quite a chunk. I mean, not a lot, but like a little.
Is that a banger?
Chunkity chunk change?
No, I'll show you the banger.
Oh, let's see the banger.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic Four 500 shiny.
Oh, God.
Dang, that Doom cover is sick.
We got a banger.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Uh-oh.
Warning. Banger alert. Banger alert. Holy fucking shit. Look at that fucking book. Oh my fucking God. Look at that fucking book. Oh my fucking God. Look at that book. Jesus. Jesus. Oh my God.
I like turtles.
Oh my God.
So anyways, yeah, there's that.
Oh.
Yeah. So there. I've gotten a lot of other things, but I kind of want to keep it on the DL until I can just smash you in the face with it all at once. Or maybe I'll show it like on
Like a
Friday?
Yeah. Friday.
Because Friday, I got a lot of stuff too.
Oh, cool.
All the new stuff right here. And right back here, you might have noticed I kind of changed what has been in the front of boxes. Because last week we had David Osajefo, Kwanzaa Osajefo, and I was looking for Black 1 through 6, and instead I wound up with Black Panther 1 through 15.
That's not bad, bro.
Yeah, I'll eventually have those one day. I have the first 4.
I have issues 1 through 6, 8, 14, or maybe 13 and 15 or something. And then I'm 3 issues away, 3 fucking issues away from Jungle Action, from having the entire Black Panther run in Jungle Actions. I just need issues 11, 12, and 17. I just need issues 11, 12, and 17, and then I'll have the entire Jungle Action run with Black Panther in it.
All right, then how about this? I will not start my Jungle Action until you finish yours.
You need to just work on. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I don't give a shit, dude.
Do you have any more new books, or do you want to hold off the rest for Friday?
I'll hold off.
All right. Then on Friday,
what do you call it?
stay
Sandbagging.
tuned.
I'm sandbagging, bros.
So stay tuned for Lady Fantastic, where maybe some of us might show up on Friday. If not Friday, then Saturday night, and we'll show some books.
This weekend.
I have a couple things, just a few, not like a whole ton. So here's what I got today, and it doesn't fit in a suitcase. I stopped saying, so what's in the suitcase, because everything's just too much.
Damn, Rob.
Psycho.
Plus, I'm giving a couple of these away. So let's start with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Love that
Reflection. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Well, this one here, I'm actually trying to put together that run.
Buffy.
And it's good.
Sorry, I don't give a shit about Buffy.
Well,
I love you.
I
love you.
I don't like the creator and what he's done, but I liked all the people that worked on the show.
Yeah, I agree.
See what Ricky said? Addiction.
Well, between all the addictions I've had in my life, between
comics
alcohol
ain't
and
shit.
else, comics is awesome. Reason why? You can't sell the drugs, alcohol, or any weird kind of addiction that you might have had. You can sell these.
They don't appreciate.
No. Alcohol in your body does not appreciate. It just gets secreted later on.
Planet Arizona, that's exactly what you need to do.
Planet Arizona. Every time my wife complains about how many comics I buy in a given week, I'll just show a Rob stack. Not a bad idea, and I understand that entirely. So I had some people at the shop saying, "Hey, I want to buy that from your stack. I'll pay you $10." I'm like,
say no, fuck you. Hold on to it. Figure out why.
Hey, I just found out today
I'm reading this.
Okay, I had somebody tell me today there was a Endless Winter Black Adam by Boss Logic, and people are paying $100 for it. I'm going, this one? And I showed him the app. It's like, yeah, that one. I'm like, I paid cover price. You could have told me
just sit on it.
$5.
Because do you know what I have? I have the hidden variant. I got that secret variant with the glow in the dark. So I could send it to you. We could make a fancy pantsy little lot.
There you go.
I don't give a shit about it, but it'd be fun.
There's
Put the unicorns together. They need to be together or they'll be lonely.
Well, what's just annoying so much now, I don't know all these people that are coming into the hobby that are spending $100 on a book that just came out last month. It's making me look at people like us going, well, if we want to finish out a run, that will detract us from doing that. And eventually some of the people that are the middle grade spenders, people that don't really spend over $1,000 on a book will eventually go, I'm good. I don't think I really want to collect new books anymore. And even old books, I think I'm just going to back away for a while. That's what happens in a bubble.
I already hear people in the community talking like that, where it's just like they look.
I feel like this. This is how I feel to the speculator market.
Real shit.
I mean, it's nice that my copy of Ultimate Fallout is $1,000, but it's not like I'm going to be selling it. And at the same time, I don't want it to be $1,000 because I want other people to have the same opportunity to buy into this at like $100, which even then it's a bit much for something that came out 6 years ago.
You need to pop off, Ricky. Pop off.
So, America Chavez, I read the first issue. I wasn't hot on it, so I'm kind of hoping that the second issue is a little better.
Yeah, let me know if the second issue is better because I still have to read my first issue.
Yeah, this I can't really talk much about because it's getting better, but I don't know why I have the variant.
I'll wait until it starts over. I'll wait until they reboot Spider-Man. I'm
If they
good.
restart over, unless
Maybe
it's a
I'll
writer
jump on
I'm really
Miles.
liking.
When did that clone conspiracy start?
Here we got Avengers, and much like you, I'm kind of done with this Avengers story. For something where
No.
Damn it, you did get it.
So pretty.
He was sandbagging.
So pretty.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I usually don't like flutter over her covers like that, but that's a damn good cover.
Yeah. I was like, damn, Peach, if you're going to do this shit for Marvel, I'm buying your shit, Peach.
I want Peach doing now.
All right,
Because other shit, it's been like, meh. And this, I was like, God damn.
more of this, please. Less of the circular covers that are more abstract. I love the fuck out of this. The circular covers, I pass every time.
No, those are beautiful too. But I'm just saying, like, I'm going to buy She-Hulk every goddamn time.
Oh, yeah. So here's another one of those King in Blacks. Now, I did read King in Black, and yes, you should read 34 before reading this. It does feel like it tied it up really, really quickly and tidily. And we all know that, he's gone as far as this issue goes, but from the way that it ended, I'm going, man, he can't go out like that. No, really? That's how they're going to end this? Okay, I hope another writer brings Snow back with a little bit more clout. But meanwhile, I still got that third issue.
Yeah.
Runaway is 35. I'm still surprised this is going because I feel like I'm the only person at my shop that picks it up.
You want to be the fan in Rob's comic room. Huh?
Fans right above. The Venom covers.
Interesting.
What's a Venom?
I don't know what a Venom is. Apparently, he's some kind of alcoholic that wants to do better in life. I don't know why I'm loving it so much.
How could you possibly identify with that?
No idea. Couldn't possibly figure it out. What I can't identify with is why there's so goddamn many X titles. Much like Comics on the Mind, I'm out on Excalibur. I don't give a shit.
I dropped it today.
When I'm hearing that they're coming out with a fashion show, I'm out. Sorry, I'm out.
It got weird when Jubilee's son started turning into a dragon. I was just like, what is going on?
Well, I like the idea that when Shogo's in Otherworld, that Shogo becomes a dragon. Great, that's fucking fantastic. Are we going to do anything with it? No, we're about 19 issues in. We're not even going to address it again.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Rob's the only person in the country getting Runaways. Well, if they decide to reboot the TV show again, I will still be the only person reading it. Marauders. This I will stick on just for the simple fact that it's a Kate Pride.
You convinced me to stick. I almost dropped that too. That and the regular X-Men title. I almost dropped that too.
I don't know why I got the second print of this, but I had a good feeling that now that DC's rebooting their universe, I guess again, I should probably pick up the second print of some of those, like that Nightwing that came out the other week. People are paying $25 because some new character.
I should have got that cover. They look nice.
I have it. I haven't read it yet, but I ordered the second print sight unseen before it wound up being like a $30 book.
Yeah.
And here we have issue 107. And guess what? I'm giving this away.
It's a great read.
I'm giving this away to Miracle Man.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Let's just say this for the collective crowd.
Nice.
Nobody care about no fucking whatever the DC comic you said. Nightwing. Don't nobody care about no Nightwing. Sorry.
What's a Nightwing?
Budget
Is
thing.
Nightwing a dick?
Nobody has one.
Womp womp.
Meow, meow.
Go on, Jeff. This doesn't.
Hey, girl.
My roommates, everybody.
That's
I get
confused.
every variant for Force Sector.
One
That's
more more issue after that, right? That's 11.
Yeah.
It's goes
And it's
12,
out. Fun.
Yeah.
I like this cover, but I do think that her head is a little disproportionate.
Yes.
Other than that,
accurate.
it looks cool. I will probably only be getting the first issue, much like Swamp Thing. And I've been hearing Swamp Thing, the first issue was great. I still have to finish Future State Swamp Thing. I have the first issue of that, but there's so much DC coming out. It's overwhelming, and I'm done.
Yeah, it's a bit too
That
much.
being said, yeah, here's the cover page.
Cool, that's covered.
That being said, here's also Batman's Second Son, another goddamn miniseries, and maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. I don't know. I didn't really read all of Future State Batman,
Yeah.
and I don't care, which is sad because I should, and I don't.
Yeah, I'm
And-
with you.
Here's that cover
Shattered
page.
loves Dick Wing.
Yeah.
So what now?
Shattered Glass loves Dick Wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, he loves 98, the Planet Arizona, like 78. Thinks this the best read this year. I mean, well, Shattered loves it. I guess I should probably start reading it. And Future State was only 2 issues. Yeah, well, I mean the news series. I read the first issue, didn't read the second yet. Tony said 18 months before he goes back and buys every issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not wrong. Kind of like this. I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. I'm not reading every single issue, and I did not like the first issue of this. I'm sorry. It just felt like it was very
The Future State.
of the sensational Wonder Woman for Infinite.
Oh.
I don't know. It just felt like it was written for somebody that's 13 years old.
That's
And
definitely you.
this.
Just kidding.
Not
That looks
wrong.
cool.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to just stop with the DC because there's just too much coming out. The Batman books, there's like 23 coming out, I think, in June or July. There's way too much. And I'd rather just start working on my actual back issues. And that's that. And this is pretty much
mean,
done.
Me too.
To say that as a Marvel fan is pretty funny, just because we have so much bullshit that comes out. Sorry, hold
There
on.
is so much bullshit
There's
that
a lot
comes
of
out.
there's a lot of extra fat that you could trim, but
I mean, just
Because I
sticking to core titles like Avengers, Iron Man. But if you have like 5 different Spider-Man titles, fuck you, I'm sticking with ASM. But then there's
I'm good
stuff.
off ASM.
That's awesome. Look how awesome that is.
Mine.
don't do it on me.
Oh, I just wish. It's mine.
Yeah, but Rob doesn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, every
you're
time
right.
I see a new book being published where it says that, what Renee Sear says it is marketed for somebody 13 years old, whenever I see a new title like these Marvel Adventures, which are aimed at young children, I go, hey, look, another Spider-Man book aimed at middle-aged men.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Planet Arizona, you brought up a great point there. How many times have we heard, DC Comics is in its death throes? To which I just chuckle. DC Comics is far from its death throes. It came up recently again, and I forget what the conversation was around. But the same type of reactionary idiots who have no idea what they're talking about, telling you how DC is gonna end any second now. And again, I've said this many times in the past. You got 2 global entertainment businesses that have television, movies, and streaming services. They will never give up their cheapest IP farm in each of their respective camps. They never will. They could lose. They could make $0 every year in both of those publishing firms, which they're not. They're making money, but they could make $0 per year, and they would still keep them, because when you make one movie That does $1 billion at the box office. It made it worthwhile to keep that publishing firm open because they're going to pay the creators who write that comic pennies, and they're gonna do $1 billion movie. So every time I see somebody say how they're about to die, all they're telling me is that there's somebody who gets their comic book, who knows about comic books from YouTube or from somebody else telling them what they're supposed to think. But anyway,
it's chromium, but you can't really tell.
Actually, you know what? I wanted to bring something else up that really grinds my gears.
Tell
Let's
us.
hear it.
It's very simple. It's a short one. It's a very short one, but this really does grind the fuck out of my gears. Let me tell you what.
Tell us.
Whenever you're watching a movie or a TV show or something that was based on a comic, and at the beginning or at the end they say based on the graphic novel, oh, it just sends me in a goddamn rage. It might be a nitpick of a thing, but I think by misframing where that story came from, it robs comics of their legitimate impact on the cultural landscape. The Walking Dead wasn't a graphic novel; it was a monthly comic. It's adapted from a monthly comic. That's great. Dynamic Forces, huh? I hope not. Comics at law. And you see it. We might have to do that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to be pissed off about something every week. So not hard.
Is that really that difficult?
Nope. But really, it's something that really kind of drives me nuts. And I think, as a fan base, we need to politely tell the industry, when you're adapting a monthly comic book, call out the fact that it's a comic book and stop saying it's a GD graphic novel, because what you're doing is insulting the fan base that made that story popular to begin with, and you're misrepresenting it to the people who are watching it, who may go, "Oh, monthly comics are still a thing." Trade paperbacks only exist because monthly comics came out. And if monthly comics stop coming out, the trade stops coming out. There was a book by Joe Casey called Sex that I absolutely loved, and it sold like crazy in trade, but they couldn't keep publishing it because the monthly sales were too low. So the story just stopped at one point, saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll come out with some graphic novels later to tie up the story," which, as far as I'm aware, they never did.
Wait. You said it stopped, but did it collaborate and listen?
It did not. They stopped collaborating, actually. So they didn't listen to me when I said I wanted more sex, which, story of my life. And then they did not collaborate any longer. So
them toenails.
Hashtag Red Hulk. Hashtag Green Hulk nails.
Hashtag get a toenail clipper.
Right? Somebody needs that. He's going to need like a sand blaster.
Chainsaw.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever I was going to say next was just jettisoned out of my mind by Hulk Toenail.
I'll do it.
Hashtag pedicure.
Woo.
Here's a booty.
What? You gotta love She-Hulk booty.
Where these from?
Gotta love that She-Hulk booty.
That's a great cover.
Do I have that king size Hulk? I need a.
Yep. You need it.
I need it if I don't have it.
Fucking
I'm
need
pretty
it.
sure I have it though.
Fucking need it. Sorry.
Yep, I got that.
I'm pulling it from my Venom box that has my Red Hulk and my modern Spideys.
I will say this: her booty, her left cheek looks a little wrong.
Asymmetric, because she's putting her back into it.
Do you see the way her? Look at her.
Bro,
exactly.
You gotta shift your weight when you punch Thunderbolt.
Her ass isn't even. Her ass isn't even. Ace said it.
You gotta put your muscle into it. You know what I mean?
She's been working out the left cheek and ignoring the right cheek. Is all I'm saying.
I don't want to hear it.
So remember episode 2 of Invincible. If you've watched it yet, then you have Omni-Man teaching his son, Mark Grayson, how to punch when you're flying. And he says, yes, you need to shift your entire body into it like this, and then punches his son into the ground.
Why don't you criticize Nightwing's ass cheek?
Because Nightwing's ass cheek, you could bounce a fucking quarter off of. I'll tell you right now.
We had a whole conversation
I would
about this.
Yes, I would eat Dick Grayson's ass like a sandwich. I have no problem admitting that. No problem. I freely admit that. I would eat his butt so long. I would eat his butt till I got pink eye in both eyes, and then keep going.
Which reminds me, the line of the week can be found on Whack Comics. He did a video.
Miracle Man's gonna have groceries for weeks.
Where he's showing people, hey, do you want to see my comic books? And anybody that knows what Omegle is, it's kind of like chat roulette. You can get anybody, and it's usually people that want to masturbate. So I'm trying to find people like that and going, so do you want to take a look at my Batman comics? Because I'm about to tear them the fuck up. Which is awesome in and of itself, but he gets to one guy. One guy.
Oh, I'd also like to say that Whack Comics will eat out will let people eat his ass out if you sub him.
If you sub him?
Yeah, he'll let you eat his ass out. Yes.
Jesus
So here's
Christ.
a story.
I know this from his videos.
So during that Omegle video, when he starts showing the person the comics, he was into it, and then said, and this is the line of the week.
He's like, "Well, you gotta eat your ass."
Can I eat your asshole?
Yeah, and then Wax
Can I
like,
eat your asshole? If
What?
you subscribe to my channel, and guess what? He subscribed to Wax channel.
he fucking subscribed.
Oh, somebody's taking a mustache ride. Enjoy that, Whack.
One more addition to the comic community. Thank you.
There's enough room for everybody, even dudes with orange masks with the cross that asked to eat
We're all
assholes.
diving in.
Yeah, man. It was special time. Special people.
Yeah, he replied and subbed to the video, or rather to the channel. And Gore, we're still back on that topic of, yes, we're still in the mindset where 10, 20 years ago, you had a lot of people saying comics are for kids. But if you call it and reframe it a graphic novel, it makes it sound so much more mature. Still a fucking comic book.
Also, people are stupid.
That too. Never underestimate the stupidity of humanity.
I mean, look at America, and all these people are like, I ain't getting a fucking vaccine.
And that's why we will always have a problem.
Wow. Well, I hate to say it, but we're getting late, and now we're starting to talk about eating ass and
Vaccinations, and that's gross, man.
So meanwhile, I hope everybody out there, if you haven't gotten your vaccination, hopefully you get it soon, so that way we can get back to going to comic book conventions, hitting comic stores around the country, meeting one another, chest bumps, spitting into each other's mouth, licking assholes, all these things.
I need to get vaccinated against eating asshole.
Is there a vaccination for that?
Yeah, your body you can build antibodies against the urge to eat assholes.
Trust me, if you can build antibodies from eating asshole, I have all the antibodies. That's all. I have all of the antibodies.
I mean, you have a robust immune system.
I'm just saying.
Donate plasma.
Sam Jackson in the movie True Romance said, "My personal mantra," and the line was, "I eat the pussy, I eat the butt,
asshole, I eat everything,
every damn thing," and that's right. Jesus Christ, get me the fuck off the air.
Like, damn, I asked for a salad, but thank you.
And the fun thing is, every single person on this show tonight is completely sober. And also, I want to thank everybody who watched tonight. I want to thank Ace. I want to thank Carlito. I want to thank Ava. I want to thank Planet Comics. I want to thank everybody that has watched, whether it's live, whether it's on the replay. We love you all. Thank you so much. We will be coming back next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have another guest, so do tune in. Make sure to smash that like button, hit that bell for notifications, and let's go around find out what's going on for the rest of the people here. What's going on the rest of the week? Comics on the Mind? You got Gorilla Todd tomorrow.
I do. That's the other show I do, the Teachers Lounge. Every Thursday, me and Todd go back and forth on our channel, and I believe it is on my channel tomorrow. So if you're up late and you're on the East Coast, it's at midnight. But if you're on the West Coast like me, or you're just a night owl, we're up at 9 o'clock Pacific time, and we talk teaching and comics and everything else in between. Basically just shoot the shit. So if you have time, come check us out. Besides that, I'm working on some things 'cause I'm on spring break, so I have a couple things that I'm working on. So just check out the channel. If you're not subbed up, sub me up. But yeah, that's all I got going on this week.
Absolutely. Sub up Comics on the Mind if you haven't already, because if you haven't, you're missing something. Meanwhile, Lady Fantastic, I know that you're doing that cartoon crew. Is there anything on your channel?
I think so, but hold on, man. I gotta sneeze really bad.
Yeah, I've been sneezing all day lately.
3, 2, 1.
It's like a tickle up there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on there or if we're going to go to Huntsville for the Comic-Con or not. So I don't really know yet.
Ooh,
You might be doing Comic-Con.
that is awesome.
Because I'll be able to meet up with like quite a few people, like Southern's going and Flash by
Jason,
Night and Will, like a bunch of people, Big Will, like, so it'll be
Big
cool.
Willie style. That is cool, lady.
But I'd like
lots of
to.
pictures. Shit.
I've never been to one. I've never been
to one either. So that's cool.
It feels like the first time.
We were all hoping
It feels like the
that
very first time. Sorry.
but it's happening.
Oh man,
So soon, so close.
I know.
Miracle Man, anything going on the Twitter sphere for you?
I mean, pretty much daily, I'll be posting comics or, responding to the reactionary chud fringe that exists within fandom. Just recently got to enjoy humiliating Jordan Peterson fans. So, if your kink is
Not
watching,
hard, dude.
it isn't. If your kink is watching chuds be humiliated, follow me on Twitter at Komodo1977. If you like comics and just want to talk about them, you can follow me as well. But I promise you, if you don't like seeing chuds humiliated, it might not be as good of a time as you think. Other than that, I'm here every Wednesday night. I'll stop by every once in a while, hang out with the gang over at IFLC. Make sure you guys go sub them up. I freaking love comics. If you're not subbed to our boys over there at Whack Comics yet, make sure you do that as well. Because,
comics.
and I won't lie, his videos literally leave me speechless. So that should tell you how much fun they are.
Baby.
I love it when you're speechless.
I know you do. And if you haven't checked out my homegirl Eva Webb's podcast, titular characters, make sure you do that. I'll tell you what, she has just the most amazing guests. She's one of my absolute bestest friends. I love her to death. She's been in the chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Eva. But make sure you go check out her podcast because boy howdy, I'll tell you, she's getting some killer guests. I believe there was I don't know if I should say who it was, but somebody who makes a book that I really like and show pickups from almost every week was on her show recently. So definitely check her out. And I'll see you next week.
Titty.
Yep. And that has been the show for tonight. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I got a new microphone. It's right down here. It's a little bit out of the view so no one sees it because it's all about camera placement. This has been another episode of Not Near Mint. We will be back next week, same time, same channel, which is the Not Near Mint channel. This is the Not Near Mint crew. Ace is out tonight. Hopefully they will be back next week. And, we'll have new comic books. Otherwise, stay tuned. Hopefully Friday,
wait.
Saturday. Oh, what you got?
Rule number 1.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Go to all 4 of us is preemptive. Go to all 4 of us.
Do the 4-way.
Going to all 4.
There you go.
Now, rule number 1. Don't die.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Rule number
Rule
2. Rule 2.
But otherwise, another
Don't
thing
be a
not to
dick.
forget, Black Lives Matter, because if Black Lives Matter, no lives matter. Also remember, trans rights, we need trans rights. And Helen fucking Mirren, because Ace needs fucking Mirren. And you'll find out when and if that happens. But meanwhile, this is the Not Near Mint crew. We will be back next week. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great evening.
Everybody, we love you.
Hopefully you read your comics because otherwise we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. We'll make it 4 hours or 5.
I'm trying.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Worst, Lady Fantastic, Miracle Man, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.